guys? Welcome back to another episode of From the Tips. In today's video, trying out something a little bit different. I was tired of audio kind of being trash during the windy days, and this day in particular it was super windy. So decided just to make a 9-hole course vlog where I just voice over every shot, kind of explain to you guys what I'm thinking about during each shot. So this very first hole, 408-yard par 4, winds into and from the right. So I decided to try to hit a low drive and fade it back into the wind. Figure that's my best play, just fight the wind as much as I can, or else I'm going to lose the ball left. So execute that shot pretty well, end up right in the middle of the fairway, kind of exactly where I want to be. I left myself 136 yards. I decided to do the same thing with my 9-iron, kind of just hit a low fade, fight the wind, and I originally had the 8-iron in my hand, but then I decided I could get the 9 there, so I decided to go with the 9-iron, and I just completely pull it out to the left-hand side, catch it off the toe, leave myself this tricky short-sided chip. I have to go directly up a hill and then land on a downslope. So it's a downslope that's down grain, not a lot of room to work with, so I decided to go with my 62-degree wedge, kind of barely clear the lip of this hill and have it just trickle down towards the hole. And I actually hit that chip shot pretty much exactly how I wanted to. Didn't quite release the way I thought it would. I left myself probably about a 9-foot putt for my par. So I'm just standing behind it, trying to get the speed right. It's definitely down grain. I know it's going to be pretty quick. So as long as my line's good and my pace is decent, then the putt will fall. Line was good and pace was not good. That's kind of the story of that day. Just leaving everything short, so I clean up for my bogey. Next up, I have a 532-yard par 5, winds into and from the left. So I just try to hit a draw, kind of aim towards those trees over there on the right-hand side. This par 5 is kind of a U-shaped, so it's a dogleg right and then another dogleg right soon after. And I just pull my drive left of my target line, kind of headed towards a bunker, and I end up somehow clearing the bunker. I'm kind of on this backside and sitting on top of this thick Bermuda rough. I have approximately 160 yards to clear the front trap on the left, and then 191 yards to get to the back trap. So I decided to go with 6-iron. That's something I knew I could land somewhere in between, and happy with that layup shot. Next up, I have 67 yards. I decided to go with a 62-degree wedge. Normally I'd go 58 here, but I am downwind in this location, so decided to go with a 3/4 62. Try to land it short of the pin and have it trickle up. And this thing just came out with just no spin at all. Ended up landing a little bit past the hole, trickling out to about 25 feet. Have this left for my birdie putt. And kind of misread it and left it way short. So I have this little 3-foot putt for my par. And I clean it up. So +1 going on to the 384-yard par 4, number 12. This one, wind is into and from the left. So I'm just rehearsing, kind of hitting that high draw that I want to be able to hit on this hole. you really can't miss it left here. You're going to be in the water, and if you push it out to the right, you're going to be OB. It's a really tough tee shot. Hit this one really good. Face is a little bit open, but can't really complain about a shot right down the middle. Very happy with that one. Left myself 148 yards in. Group waved me ahead in front, so I decided to go ahead and hit. It's an 8 iron. Again, went into and from the left. So just want to try to pinch a low 8 iron in, trying to generate kind of the least amount of spin as possible. Didn't want this one to balloon, even though it kind of did. Leaked out a little bit to the right. Left myself about 25 feet. Didn't bring my camera up to the green, just as a courtesy to the people that let me through. Ended up 2-putting that one for my par. Next up, we have a 165-yard par 3. Winds into and from the left again. I try to hit this low kind of 6-iron trap draw, just left of the flag. I figured that would be the right club, just due to the amount of wind. And I hit the shot exactly how I would kind of want to, but clearly just not the right club. Ended up just airmailing the green here. Put myself in a really, really tough spot. I was considering chipping this, but decided to go ahead and putt it, and I'll let you guys just watch to see what happens. It was pretty much the worst putt I've ever hit, not to be outdone by the second worst putt I ever hit. So I cleaned that up from my bogey, and I went on to 338 short par 4. I decided here that I was just going to commit to every single shot. If I played bad, I played bad, but I decided just to commit. So winds down and from the right, so I decided to hit my forward, just kind of ride the wind with a nice draw. Yep, execute that shot really well. Really happy with that one. I ended up leaving myself about 62 yards. So again, I'm going to be using my 62-degree wedge, trying to get a feel for these partial wedge shots again. I had them dialed in for a little bit, but that's under calm conditions when I'm hitting them on the range under the launch monitor. But when you're actually out there in the elements and having to hit them in wind, it's a completely different story. So just trying to get a feel for how far these are going. Hit this one really well. I thought it was going to turn out really good. Kind of hit that bank on the right side, but ended up just trickling out a little bit longer than I would have liked. Left myself about 15 feet downhill. Again, just trying to get my speed right here. Been leaving a lot of putts short. And a complete misread, but didn't really leave it short, so cleaned that one up for my par. Going on to the 204-yard par 3. Decided to go out with a 5 iron. Again, this one's going to be downwind. 4 iron would have been too much. 5 iron I carry normally about 190, 191. So decided to hit this with a little draw. Hopefully it would carry out a little bit further. And I hit the shot so pure. Pretty much did exactly what I would have wanted, and it just carried well off the back. So I have this tricky downhill chip left, as you guys can see with the grain. It's kind of light colored closer to me, and then dark colored closer to the pin. So it's down grain as you get closer to the pin, and into the grain as you get closer to me. So I'm just trying to get over that bank, and I know it'll start trickling down towards the hole. And yeah, I hit a really good shot there. Really happy. Left myself about 3.5, 4 feet left for my par. Started putting the line back on my ball, just because I've been putting poorly. So definitely helps on these short putts. Got to start getting used to them with the longer putts. And yep, that one's dead center. Clean up for my par. Next up, we have a 434-yard par 4, winds into and from the left again. So I'm going to try to hit a low draw, kind of the shot I've been trying to hit with my driver the last couple holes. Um, just start up the tree line on the right-hand side and just bring it back in. And if you guys want to pause right here, so as you guys can see with my setup, my shoulders are facing directly towards the left. So it's almost like a fade setup. And then my hips and my feet line are pointing towards the right. So my feet line, my hip line, and my shoulder line aren't all in proper alignment for hitting this draw. So I already know right off the bat that this is not going to be a correctly executed shot. And as you guys can see, this turns out to be, yep, a hook off to the left. So I absolutely smoked this, hit this dead middle of the club face, but just nowhere near the fairway. Left myself this really, really tough shot. I'm in the pine straw. As you guys can see, the pin's kind of right in the middle of these trees, so I have a perfect little gap to try to go through. Decided to go with 8 iron. I have 141 yards left. Just need to punch an 8 iron right through that gap. And I somehow find the gap in between the trees on the right and start to draw it back in. Just a super lucky shot. Really wasn't trying to do that. Left myself a little 12-foot birdie putt. And I thought this was going in, but just stayed right up on the edge. Just kind of unfortunate, but in all honesty, I didn't really deserve a birdie on this hole, so I'll happily take my par. Heading on to the 430-yard par 4. We're downwind, and it's from the right, so I'm going to be trying to hit my draw again. I guess I clearly didn't learn, so as you can see by my setup, it's going to be the same exact thing you just saw. So my shoulders are going to be pointing out towards the left, and then my hips are going to be pointing out towards the right. And I think you guys already guessed it. This shot is going to turn out to be a nice little duck hook off to the left. Yep, right on cue. So left myself this whopper. I'm almost out of bounds, kind of on this tree line on the left, and I decided to hit a 5 iron, just duck hook, just try to get it to as close to the green as possible. And I hit this shot really, really good. Probably the best shot I hit all day. Ended up being right in the front trap of the green. And this green and pretty much every other greenside bunker on this course really doesn't have a lot of sand. So I'm trying to play it a little bit different, hitting it more like a normal pitch shot, trying not to get too steep on it or else the bounce just kind of kicks the ball up. So I hit the shot really good. Again, a little downhill putt, just trying to get my speed right. And I left it short again. Really hate leaving putts short. I did it way too many times this day, but seeing if I can finish strong. 520-yard par 5. The wind's pretty much a straight right to left. Gonna try to hit a high draw, kind of ride the wind. I push it a little bit too far right. It starts to come back, but not nearly enough. So I'm right side of the fairway. Not really the greatest position because I'm kind of blocked out by these trees, and I'm left myself 225 yards. And ironically enough, this is the yardage I was saying that I don't normally leave myself, which is why I don't carry a hybrid. And of course, in one of my first videos back, I leave myself 225 yards. Got to try to kind of finesse a 4-wood, choke up on it, try to hit a little fade. And I hit this really, really good. Just didn't fade back into the wind as much as I would have liked. But the distance was dead on. Ended up being about pin high, chipping out through this thick rough. Everything's down grain here, so I know if I just get it on the green, it's going to roll down, and I kind of chunked it a little bit, so I ended up still leaving it short, which is a little unfortunate. Left myself about 8 or 9 foot putt for my birdie, seeing if I can finish strong. And this was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe this didn't go in. It was like a quarter of a rotation from going in. But pretty much it's just the story of today. Anyway, guys, so I ended up brushing this in for my par. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And please hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. And until next time, guys, peace.